took everything. They took everything. I don't care how nothing gets paid. I'm going to go get my nails fixed. I'm going to take my stepdaughter over to an adventure park to celebrate her 15th birthday that we didn't get to celebrate yet. I don't care.
So she tired.
I don't care anymore. To continue to work hard, to sweat, to cry, to be angry, just to afford to live. I'm not doing it no more. I don't care how the lights get paid. I don't care how nothing gets paid. I'm not doing it no more. You know it's bad when you're borrowing money from Cash App.
I didn't know that was
and a lot of us are doing that. We all fixing to end up in civil court over Cash App.
He said he didn't know about that either. Y'all, I actually have a Cash App borrowing video where it talks about the new Cash App borrowing feature. It's not that old. It's probably within the last month that I created it. So if you're more curious and you want to go deeper into the Cash App borrow, that video, I'll probably put it at the end of this video as one of the recommended videos. But let's get back into it.
Get paid. I don't care how nothing gets paid. I'm not doing it no more. You know it's bad when you're borrowing money from Cash App.
I didn't know that was
and a lot of us are doing that. We all fixing to end up in civil court over Cash App. Borrow limit. Afterpay.
Man.
And then people tell you half favor is going to get better. No, it's not. It's going to get worse. If you don't know the word, then just say that.
No. Let me just go ahead and cut in here. She said we're about to end up in court over Cash App. No, ma'am. You're about to end up in court for all the things you just admitted. What you ultimately just admitted is that you want what you want. Notice the first thing was the real thing. The first thing that she said was, I'm getting my nails done. Her nails are already done, but she's about to get them redone, apparently. She wants to live this lifestyle of somebody who just gets pampered and polished at all times. But she don't want to work for it. She just feels entitled to it. Ma'am, nails are a trivial thing. But look how you're acting like you need it. And then you're actually shirking off your actual necessities, all in the attainment of something trivial. As well as she wants to do what she wants to do for herself. So then now as a consolation, well, she's not just going to do what she wants to do, knowing that she doesn't have it, and then not do something for her kids, right? So now they're going to go to the water park again for her 15th birthday. You could just get your nails done just because it's a Wednesday. But yeah, and I'm going to take my kids to the water park for their 15th birthday. But nothing in that was her sacrificing her nails so then she'd have a little extra money to take her kids to the water park. It was just the floodgates are open. We just all finna get what we want. It's immature. It's remedial. And it's actually a little sad that you can't just handle your responsibilities and prioritize what's important for what's important. And I would argue your child's 15th birthday isn't important. Your child having a roof over their head and the lights on is what's more important. But this is what we see more times than not. And then when people end up in circumstances where they're getting evicted and the people are taking their stuff out the door, like we just watched in the first clip, that was very brief. Then all of a sudden it wasn't their fault and they need help. And we don't ever want to explore the thought processes or the actions and behaviors that ultimately led them along that path to ultimately getting that outcome. Y'all, before we get back into it, if you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype.
We all fixing to end up in civil court over Cash App. Borrow limit. Afterpay.
Man.
And then people tell you half favor is going to get better. No, it's not. It's going to get worse. If you don't know the word, then just say that.
You don't know the word.
A lot of us have been struggling like this all of our lives. And to know that it's going to get worse is like, damn. We ain't going to ever be able to enjoy it. Especially especially when you've been struggling all your life, just to find out it's fixing to get worse. So I'm gonna make it better for me in the moment. I can't afford to do anything else. If we don't do something for ourselves just to keep ourselves sane, we gonna go crazy, and I refuse. After everything that I've been through in life, to allow the devil to make me go crazy because of some shit that's out of our control.
Man, people are tired. People are starting to crack, man, mentally, physically, man. People is getting sick. Man, we are in a time where everything is super inflated except the paychecks, bro. You know, even the light bill, water bill, you know, property taxes, insurance, all that mess is going up except people paycheck. And people already working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Now, some people got 2 jobs. They're working 2 full-time jobs, 80 hours, and then
Man, that wasn't her situation. We just gonna call spade a spade. Listen, she wasn't talking about nothing of her necessities. It looked like she has a nice roof over her head, nice things. All it really takes is some perspective. But she doesn't have things in perspective. Her getting her nails done isn't going to enhance her life quality in any significant way. It's just vanity. And here's the thing. She said, y'all better learn y'all word. Y'all better get in y'all word. Y'all people don't know y'all word. And she's referring to the Bible and scripture. But since you're talking about knowing your word, you should know that we're all living sacrifices. And do you know what a sacrifice is? A sacrifice is ultimately offering yourself up in the most vicious way. Typically, when you think historically of what a sacrifice is usually you brutally having your life taken away from you in a way to be sacrificial. And so we are living sacrifices, which means that we're still alive, but we're sacrifices, which ultimately means that our life is going to be hard, it's going to be difficult. There's going to be suffering internally, externally, and that is going to be our life. And that is the price that we have to pay. And that is why I said she needs to reframe to perspective and understand, since she wants to get into the word and since she wants to try to hold other people to it, ultimately. And see, she don't even want to sacrifice her nails. And she doesn't really, she hasn't reflected to really think about how crazy that sounds, especially when you're trying to come from a biblical context, that you can't even just give up getting your nails done and going to water parks. Do you know how silly and trivial by nature that sounds to people who are spiritually grounded? Let's get back into it, y'all. Again, if you could like the video, only takes a second and it helps out more than you know. His caption says, "A miracle has to happen in 5 days or I'm evicted." And this is a guy. And then it says, "No, like for real, y'all." And he got a little sad face emoji in here and everything.
Hey, y'all, I know I come to y'all how I am, and don't get the tears mixed up as I'm soft, but I just gotta come to y'all and be vulnerable today. Just gotta come to y'all real. So just give me some time. Be patient, please. Stick with me through this video, because I swear I need as much support. I need a miracle to happen, man. I need a miracle to happen. I've been keeping my head up. I've been fighting, and it's been blowing up. They got payout days on TikTok because I want to.
Why in the world does this dude have music playing on his thing? This is, I don't know if it's going to flag me because it is pretty low, but let's just read his description. It says, "No help, credit shot, so can't just move. So I'm forced to take a step back from TikTok and try and Lyft or Uber this thing out." So we don't even really got to hear what he's saying. It says, "The Most High, I pray for a miracle. Please, God, I know you didn't get me this far to forsaken me." So we don't even have to hear what he had to say because that's a mouthful in itself. Your credit shot. And he said he's forced to take a step back from TikTok and go try Uber and Lyft. Ain't that nice? You move from one thing where you still really don't have to be responsible for nothing. You get to wake up whenever you want. You get to make your own hours. Just roll up out of bed and just start driving and listening to your music. Ain't that something? You don't even have to get a certificate. Why isn't getting a real job in there? And you're a grown man who needs what he needs and it appears only has to take care of himself. And it never occurred to you that you just need to get a job, not run your car down. You're about to lose your residence, your home. And now the last asset you have, you're just going to run it into the mud when you can actually just get a job and then get to the location. And from there, all the money that you earn would be nothing but profit. And then you can go home. I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding. And he was trying to do TikTok, apparently. And he's finding out that that's not going to be the way. That's not going to be the way. It's funny. People just want things, but they don't want to actually do what it's going to take. People just want to manifest all these things, but they don't want to actually go about the right ways of manifesting it, which is actually staying down, working hard for a sustained period. Whatever, however long you think it's going to take, times that by 10. And as a young man, he's got a lot of time. So why he just wants to go through these, listen, I've seen dead end jobs. I would say he at least needs a dead end job, but he's going even worse than a dead end job. He's going to a dead end platform. He's going to dead end platforms. I think TikTok is a dead end platform. And I also think Uber and Lyft is a dead end platform. And to me, that's worse than a dead end job, in my opinion, because you're investing in something and you literally have no residual effects to show for it and to leverage moving forward. It says, part 1, getting evicted out of a place I used to live in.
You don't want to see everything? I don't think he gave me everything.
Oh, wow. Hold on, let's go to part 2. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be honest. This is one of the rawest evictions I've seen in a long time. Like, this is real. This is really real. You could tell. And sometimes we have to see these things. We have to see these things. See, for me, if I was that young man we just watched, who had the music playing, me seeing this right here, right now, it makes me want to go hard. It makes me want to put in a hard day's work. It makes me want to really be dutiful in whatever it is that I have to do today and really put in all my effort, really put in all my force, all my energy, because seeing this is raw. And this is where I don't want to end up at. And so I'm keeping this in my mind as a frame of reference for why I'm going to work hard and I'm going to come at life with everything that I have. And guess why? Because I'm going to honor the Most High. And that's what the Most High likes. And so what you'll find is if you do that, a lot of things will really just work themselves out. And you don't even have to think that hard about it.
This?
Yeah. I'm so dead. It is what it is. Oh shit. This is like stuck.
What's the same one Draco had in your mouth?
Huh?
What's the same one Draco had in your mouth?
What's the difference? I mean, they're similar, but I hope all my stuff is in here. I fucking hope all my stuff is in here. Shit.
What do we see too? We got to be observative. What do we see? I see self-inflicted wounds all over the place. She got a whole leg sleeve. And clearly, or possibly, they might have had children before they were ready. They might have had children before they were ready. Now you're struggling. Whereas, funny enough, it's two of them. Imagine, let's picture this. Picture, instead of having kids impulsively, which is assumptive, but just picture this because this happens more times than not. Picture this scenario instead. Imagine, because they're together, that's great. But imagine you'd have just waited 3 years and you all would have said, let's treat having kids like it's a goal that we have to work towards. And so, what you and I will do is both of us over this 3-year period will get 2 jobs each. And then we will live off, let's say the guy said, we will live off my one full-time job. And then we will save your full-time job and your part-time job. And then we will also save my part-time job. And we'll do that for 2 or 3 years. And then after 3 years, we will decide to conceive a child. And I will continue working my full-time job and my part-time job. And then for that period, maybe after you're like 3 months pregnant, whatever the case, then you can stop working. And we will continue to live off my full-time job while still saving my part-time job. And then that will give you some time to adjust yourself for the newborn coming. And I mean, it could be a million different things, a million different scenarios. Maybe while they're going through that period, she can still stimulate her brain and be learning some type of skill, maybe something that could even allow her to work remote. And then she can just bring it down to having one full-time job, which in comparison to when she was working with a full-time job and a part-time job, it would still seem much easier. That would be like a vacation because she would have been used to having multiple. And so they could have ultimately strategized, but people have children and there's no strategy behind it. And they're just not even set up to be able to sustain that in a way to where they don't have the possibility to end up in this very raw situation that we're observing.
I fucking hope all my stuff is in here. Shit. I gotta go tell Draco bye. I'm dead. He locked the dog up inside so I wouldn't steal him.
And they got a dog.
I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. It is what it is.
And you know, the reason I brought that up is because what a lot of people say is, oh, the economy. So what, are we just not supposed to have kids? What are we talking about when we say that? I don't understand, because that was a clear path to having kids. You can have multiple kids once you've set that foundation. We have a lot of people out here having kids with zero foundation. And then they have the kids and everything just collapses. Even relationally. Like I said, they're a outlier situation if that is his kids, because they actually stayed together. How many times do we see situations where people are either together for a long time or they weren't together for a long time? But what intersects is when they have the kid, all of a sudden, they don't want nothing to do with each other. How does that happen so many times? That happens more often than not, where at the point of conception, that was when you determined that you all aren't a good fit. And then you ask the person, you're like, why don't you get back with the guy you had a kid with? And the first reaction is so visceral. It's, oh no, I could never. We just don't work. And it's like right after you had the kid, huh? Y'all just were water and oil, just didn't mix. I think that's always incredible. And so we have to evaluate that. And ultimately, all I'm saying is plan for it. You can have it, just plan for it and prepare for it. All right. So the next caption says, I'm getting kicked out of my apartment illegally. Or the description.
Y'all, the apartments that I just moved into, I've been in it for 4 months so far. They called me today and told me I have 30 days to move out. So of course I'm confused because I've been paying my rent on time. I'm a good tenant. Like, there's been no issues. They told me that pretty much the apartment is under new management. They did an audit, and a whole bunch of people are getting kicked out because they really didn't qualify, or their stuff wasn't put into the system correctly, or, whatever the case may be, a bunch of people got to be out in 30 days. So
Hmm.
I told them I'm a single mom of 3 kids. Like, I can't
Oh,
just up and move. I don't have anywhere to go. I did my part. I have a signed lease. I've been paying my rent every month. Like, I was so thrown away, so confused. I had to leave work because I'm so upset. They told me technically I'm squatting in the apartment. I'm a squatter because I'm not really under a lease, and I've been there.
you're not under a lease.
Like, first of all, I feel disrespected that they even said that. And second of all, I signed a lease, I got the keys, I pay on time what I'm supposed to pay. And they're telling me there's nothing they could do. They're under new management, and this is what the new management is talking about. What do I do? What can I legally do? Because I can't just up and move. I have 3 kids. I have a bunch of furniture. My brothers and sisters, they only have 1 kid or no kids. They don't have a big enough space for me to go move into their space. And no one wants to do that with 3 kids. I've always had my own place because I feel like with 3 kids, that comes with a lot. And I don't want to put that on nobody. So what do I do at this point? What can I legally do to fight this? I feel like it's wrong. Like, it's so.
I always find it funny when people ask what can they legally do, but then they don't give all the information or they misrepresent the information. And here's what I mean. And first thing I want to address before we even get into that is just the cycle of self-inflicted wounds. She's a single mother with 3 kids, and she gets this news. And what's the first thing she does? She says she left work for the day. Left work to do what? What you about to go do? Are you about to go move your stuff, or are you about to go handle the situation? You left work so that you can get on TikTok. Just say that. That just say that, ma'am. So that's the first thing. Don't lose your job. You're saying you're losing your home. You lost the relationships with the fathers that or father or whatever. Don't lose your job. That's the last thing you got that's keeping you sustainable. But now let's address what I'm talking about as far as I feel like she's misrepresenting information and she's not giving all the information, but yet she wants help. If you're about to get kicked out, because she said that they said that she doesn't have a lease, but then she's saying she does. Who you think is lying in this situation? I love when it's cut and dry right down the middle. They're saying no, you're saying yes. Now we just have to try to understand who's wrong and who's right. I would bet, I'm not a betting man, but I would bet you're wrong. Here's why. For one, when she's talking about moving to another place, she's saying that my family wouldn't let me stay with them. They don't have enough room for us, all four of us. Does that sound like somebody? Why is your first thought that you're going to go live with your family instead of just going and getting another apartment or another home? That could possibly indicate that you have something on your record to where you feel like you can't go and get another home. Or maybe you're actually getting evicted for something that you did or for something that you failed to do. There's things being left out here because your first inclination wasn't to go and get another apartment, which to me indicates that there may be something preventing you from doing that. So your only other option, if you can't reserve this space, is to go with someone else. And it's possible that maybe even the previous leasing company just let you be there and they didn't do the documentation correctly or whatever, or maybe it's undocumented that you're living there because they even mentioned that you don't have a lease. Based on the facts that you gave, these are the only plausible options that I can foresee because this is what you mentioned. And we know that a lot of times people withhold important information in order to hold themselves in a good light. And so if there are these type of gaps in your story with you trying to give us the optimized story, then I don't have much faith that you're giving us all the information that we need. But yet I find it ironic that you're asking for help with fragmented information. Leave it there for today. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. It only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also if you could hype. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you just press the hype button and it shows the points. And since I am a smaller creator, a smaller channel, we actually get more points per hype. And hype was designed for smaller creators. So that's why we get more points. But if you come across a video and you don't see the hype option, then it's probably been over 7 days. And hype typically vanishes after 7 days. So that's why. And also, typically, if you want to hype, it's usually best practice to just go ahead and hype while the iron is hot. And then also, if you want to become a member, then you should see that join button on the video. You just press the join button and you can become a member of the DXU family. And what that would entail is you would get membership badges next to your comments. So people will be able to see that you are a member, as well as you would get early access to content, as well as exclusive content. So if you want to become a member, then again, you can hit that join button. But until then, I will catch you all in the next video.